The restaurant was known for serving presidents, celebrities, and billionaires. Every guest expected perfection, and every employee knew that one mistake could cost them their job. Emma had worked there for 3 years. She wasn't famous, rich, or powerful. She was simply a hard-working waitress who noticed details other people ignored. That evening, billionaire investor Alexander Hayes arrived for a private dinner with his chief financial officer, Victor Lawson. The meeting was supposed to finalize a billion-dollar acquisition. Emma welcomed them politely and served their meals. While placing the drinks on the table, she noticed Victor secretly slipping a tiny flash drive into his pocket after exchanging documents with another businessman. Later, while cleaning a nearby table, Emma accidentally overheard Victor whisper, "Tomorrow the company will belong to us. Hayes will never know." She froze. Emma wanted to warn Alexander immediately, but Victor never left his side. Saying anything without proof would only get her fired. Then she remembered the restaurant's security cameras. Quietly, she grabbed the dinner receipt. On the back she wrote only 6 words. Without saying another word, she placed the receipt beside Alexander's coffee cup. At first he thought it was a mistake. Then he read the message again. Emma walked away without looking back. Alexander remained calm, but curiosity filled his mind. Before leaving, he politely asked the restaurant manager if he could review the security footage because he believed an important business document had gone missing. The manager agreed. Minutes later, they watched the recording. There it was. Victor secretly meeting another executive before dinner. The flash drive changing hands. Confidential documents photographed beneath the table. And finally Victor smiling as he whispered, "Tomorrow the company will belong to us." Alexander couldn't believe his eyes. His closest advisor had betrayed him. Instead of confronting Victor immediately, Alexander stayed silent. The next morning, Victor proudly entered the boardroom expecting to announce the acquisition. Instead, federal investigators were already waiting. Alexander had spent the entire night gathering additional evidence. Bank transfers, emails, phone records, everything matched the security footage. Victor was arrested before the meeting even began. The directors sat in stunned silence. Reporters quickly learned about the attempted corporate takeover. News channels called it one of the biggest cases of corporate fraud in years. But Alexander couldn't stop thinking about one person. The waitress. Without her courage, everything he had built would have disappeared. A week later he returned to the restaurant. Emma immediately recognized him. "I'm sorry if I caused trouble," she said nervously. Alexander smiled. "You didn't cause trouble. You saved my company." He handed her a small envelope. Inside was a thank you letter and a check large enough to pay off her parents' home and her younger brother's university education. Emma's eyes filled with tears. "I can't accept this," Alexander gently replied. "You already earned it the moment you chose honesty over fear." But he wasn't finished. He had another offer. "I need people around me who tell the truth, even when it's difficult. I'd like you to join my company's ethics department." Emma laughed in disbelief. "I'm only a waitress." Alexander shook his head. "No, you're someone who protects what's right." Months later Emma became one of the most respected compliance officers in the company. She helped prevent fraud, trained employees, and created systems that rewarded honesty instead of silence. Whenever new employees asked how she got the job, she smiled. It all started with a restaurant receipt. Years later Alexander kept that receipt framed in his office. Visitors often asked why such an ordinary piece of paper hung beside expensive awards. He always answered the same way. "That receipt reminds me that billion-dollar companies aren't saved by money. They're saved by honest people." The little handwritten message became a symbol throughout the company. Whenever employees saw something wrong, they remembered Emma's courage. Because sometimes justice doesn't arrive wearing a suit. Sometimes it walks quietly through a restaurant carrying a tray. And sometimes 6 handwritten words can change thousands of lives forever.